Imagine this. The royal world, so carefully constructed and displayed, hides a far darker truth than anyone could ever imagine. Princess Diana was no stranger to the painful secrets that churned beneath the surface of the royal family's public facade. The tumultuous relationship between Diana, King Charles, and Camilla is a tale that we only began to hear in fragments, but what if everything we thought we knew was only a small glimpse into the vast, painful truth of their world? This is the story of Diana's silent struggle, her knowledge of the intricate and devastating dynamics between Charles and Camilla, and how she learned the hard way that the love she had once hoped for was slipping through her fingers long before anyone else even realized. Princess Diana's life within the royal family was marked by an ongoing battle of deception, betrayal, and emotional agony. She wasn't just a woman wronged by an affair, she was someone who saw the full scope of the conspiracy unfolding before her eyes. Long before the world began to speculate about Charles's infidelity, Diana knew. She saw the meetings, the quiet exchanges, and the unspoken bond between her husband and Camilla. The affair, while publicized, was just the tip of the iceberg. Diana was not just a passive victim but a woman who had to endure the cold indifference of a husband emotionally invested in another woman. In this piece, we delve into the personal agony Diana endured as she faced the truth about the royal marriage, revealing a story of manipulation, heartbreak, and unrelenting pressure. From the very beginning, Diana was aware of the secret meetings between King Charles and Camilla, though no one else outside the royal circle seemed to catch on. While Charles was busy with public denials, Diana, keenly perceptive, understood the true nature of his relationship with Camilla. It wasn't just physical, but something far more profound and destructive. The secrecy of their interactions, hidden from the public eye, caused Diana immeasurable pain, as her suspicions turned into undeniable truths. The constant presence of Camilla in Charles's life, despite his denials, made it clear to Diana that her marriage was built on a lie. The emotional toll of watching her husband slip further away, emotionally and physically, from her, while keeping up appearances for the royal public, was devastating. Princess Diana's insights into the dynamic between Charles and Camilla were not limited to knowledge of the affair itself. She understood that Camilla was more than just a lover, she was a manipulative force in Charles's life. Diana realized that Camilla didn't just desire Charles's affection, she sought control. Through subtle manipulation and emotional influence, Camilla not only kept Charles hooked but also pushed him toward a future together, one in which Diana was pushed aside. Diana, seeing through the facade, knew that Camilla's role in Charles's life was far more calculated than anyone had imagined. Perhaps the most devastating realization for Diana was that the Queen, her own mother-in-law, was not only aware of the affair but, by some accounts, silently accepted it. Diana came to believe that the royal institution, which she had once believed was founded on unity and moral integrity, was complicit in hiding the affair. Her sense of betrayal deepened as she realized that the Queen, who was supposed to protect the sanctity of the monarchy, did nothing to intervene. The powerful, unspoken acceptance of Charles's actions by the Queen reinforced Diana's sense of isolation and abandonment. She felt trapped in a marriage where not only her husband's loyalty was in question, but also the institution she had married into. As Diana began to piece together the truth, it became evident to her that Charles had plans to marry Camilla long before their official separation. While the royal family played a game of public diplomacy, Diana knew that the future Charles envisioned didn't include her. She had the painful knowledge that once the divorce was finalized, Charles intended to marry Camilla, making the affair public in a way that would forever change the trajectory of the monarchy. The devastating realization that the man she loved had already set his sights on another woman tore through Diana's sense of hope for reconciliation. For Diana, this wasn't just an affair, it was a slow, calculated dismantling of her marriage, and she was powerless to stop it. Diana also came to understand the depths of Camilla's influence over Charles, not just emotionally, but psychologically. Charles's dependence on Camilla was palpable, and it wasn't just about love. Camilla knew exactly how to play her cards to ensure that she remained the primary influence in Charles's life. Diana, seeing her husband's reliance on another woman, felt utterly alone. The emotional neglect she faced in her marriage was amplified by Charles's deep emotional connection with Camilla, leaving Diana to wonder if there was any chance for her to reclaim her place in his life. Diana's marriage to Charles wasn't just plagued by the affair, it was also defined by constant power struggles. The slow erosion of her role in Charles's life was not just emotional, but political. Camilla's increasing role in royal functions, her integration into the social fabric of Charles's world, and her ongoing influence over his decisions made it clear to Diana that the marriage was no longer just between two people. It had become a battle for control, one in which Diana was losing. Financial power, the ultimate symbol of Charles's commitment to Camilla. The financial side of the affair was another reality that Diana couldn't ignore. She was fully aware that Charles was supporting Camilla, both financially and emotionally, in ways that went far beyond simple gifts. This wasn't just about money, it was about the investment Charles made in Camilla's life, ensuring her comfort and security. Diana, already dealing with the emotional strain of infidelity, found it impossible to reconcile the public image of the royal family with the private reality of her husband's financial backing of Camilla. It was a constant reminder of just how deeply embedded Camilla had become in Charles's life and how difficult it was for Diana to maintain her own sense of identity in this fractured relationship. Camilla's growing role in royal charity work was a particular source of frustration for Diana. The woman who had once been hidden from public view was now participating in royal events, mingling with influential figures, and gaining a foothold in the royal family's public persona. Diana, a champion of charity work herself, saw this not just as a personal affront but as a strategic move by Camilla to further entrench herself in Charles's world. For Diana, it was as though Camilla was not just vying for a position in her husband's heart, but also in the royal legacy. The ultimate betrayal for Diana came when she realized that Camilla's ambitions weren't just about being Charles's mistress, they were about becoming the future queen consort. While many saw Camilla as just another love affair, Diana knew better. She knew that Camilla had long-term plans, and she was patient enough to see them through. Diana was left with the haunting realization that Camilla's persistence and Charles's dependency on her were not just passing phases, they were strategic moves toward a future that didn't include Diana. For Diana, this knowledge added a bitter finality to the marriage, a stark reminder that Charles had already chosen his future. As we peel back the layers of this royal scandal, it becomes clear that what the public was told was only a small piece of a much larger and more painful story. Princess Diana, trapped in a marriage of lies, watched as her world crumbled around her. The affair with Camilla was just the surface. The emotional manipulation, the power struggles, and the long-term plans for Camilla to be queen were the devastating truths that Diana knew all too well. The tragedy of her story lies not just in the affair, but in the realization that she was not just losing a husband, but her place in a world that was slowly being rewritten without her. The royal family's public image might have remained intact, but behind closed doors, Diana understood the full scope of betrayal. And the question remains, how much of this tragedy did the rest of the world truly understand? In the end, Diana's story wasn't just about betrayal, it was about the heartbreaking, unseen cost of being caught in a royal dynasty, where power, ambition, and manipulation set the stage for the future of the monarchy.